that bigger. That one smaller.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
That bigger. Smaller. Oh, what's going on there? Right, let's put the chat on my phone because I can't see the chat on my Good evening, everybody. Sorry, my phone's echoing. And there we go. Just give it a minute for a few others to join. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How many people we got in? We've got 3. Excellent. What we'll do is we'll do a record as well. Righto, so everybody that's joined, welcome. Thank you for being here. Today we've got a special guest for everybody. Now this was a very impromptu arrangement, shall we say. So I would like to present to you a very good friend of mine. We've done some work in the past as well, together. He's helped me along on my journey more often than he would care to admit. And I cannot thank him enough for his help in this process. So I would like to introduce to you Jamie Bailey from I Am. He's got his own YouTube channel. I'm sure he'll drop a link in it fairly shortly as well. If you'd like to drop a link into this chat for people to see both during the live and on the recap, that'd be absolutely amazing. We're just going to have a quick talk about shadow work and how that can benefit you whilst you're on the journey of conscious creation. So give me a second. And we will go. Hello, Jamie. Thank you for taking the time out to join me on this live today.
Hello.
How's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah, going well. Going well. So I've just seen a chat and a message in the chat from Hazel. She's finally awake. She's finally awake.
Okay. Hazel.
So Hazel, if you've just joined, thanks for arriving. we've got Jamie on the live stream today. We're going to have a bit of a talk about shadow work. So I'll let you take the lead on this one, Jamie. What is shadow work?
Okay, fantastic. So I've got this link, haven't I? I'll post that later. Hi. So I'm Jamie, and I've known Matt now for several months. Just through the channels that we've been into, through moderating Sean's channel over at Here and All There. Shout out, great community over there.
Shameless plug.
Little plug for a good friend of mine. So yeah. What is shadow work, and how does it apply to myself, yourselves, your self-development journey and manifestation? So the idea of shadow work, which is what I'm really into and what's brought me to where I am now, is that we go through life kind of chasing the good times.
Absolutely, yeah.
And running away from the bad, from what you might feel that's uncomfortable or unacceptable, like your emotions, say, like fear, anger, shame. What about sadness? But what about even the good emotions, like happiness, joy, and satisfaction, pleasure, even? You're trying to chase those, and we're running away from these parts of ourselves that feel uncomfortable. And also certain situations,
say in our lives, with your relationship, with your family, with money maybe, or with particular people, or certain experiences we might have had when we were little, that actually run us, that is actually happening outside of our awareness, in our subconscious. So the idea with shadow work is to stop doing what you've been doing your entire life, which is trying to run away from this stuff and to actually approach it from a place of non-judgment, from self-love, and from the perspective of I am willing and I'm finally done with suffering and I'm going to face it. So that's kind of the gist.
Amazing. So you'll probably you've probably seen it as well. There's a whole bunch of, let's say, guides in journeys like this that will simply say, yeah, you don't need the negative thoughts, you just flip them and things like that. I mean, what would your response be to that?
Well, if you were to look at Neville Goddard's understanding of everyone as you pushed out, well, what are these negative thoughts and feelings? They're just you. So in a lot of spiritual circles, I see it as what is called spiritual bypassing, where it's like, I'm super spiritual, so I'm only going to feel the good stuff. I'm going to actually sit and force a feeling of gratitude, because that's what you're supposed to do with spiritual beings, aren't we?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And fear and anger, expressing that's evil. That's what everyone else does. Oh, I'm spiritual. I'm gonna feel the good stuff. Yeah, completely avoid actually how I really feel deep down underneath, and kind of stuff all this stuff on top. And that'll just lead to absolute catastrophe.
It's like the oil and water situation, isn't it? It's you've got a cup filled with oil, which is all the bad stuff, as it were, and you want to keep filling it with water, which is all the good stuff. Where's the oil going to go? It's going to kind of come to the surface, and I think it's that where quite a number of people out there will go, oh, I don't need to worry about the oil because it will sort itself out. And it's like, well, if you don't clean the oil off the floor, you're going to slip on it. So it's, that's my understanding anyway.
Well, yeah, and if everything in your experience is essentially you, then why are some things acceptable and some things not?
Quite right. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just saying this part of me is unacceptable. I can't ever feel or be this, but it's you.
No, absolutely.
So you're actually just playing hide and seek with yourself.
And that can last quite a long time, can't it? I mean, what was it we said earlier? We had a conversation about paint, didn't we?
Yes.
So if what was it you said? Your life itself is a blank canvas, and you are the artist. So if you spend so long trying to paint with the bright, pretty colours, eventually they're going to run together. And what was it you said? Everything makes brown.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you try and paint your life with. Like, even if you just try and stick the nice, pretty, fluorescent, nice, happy feeling colours on the canvas, it's all going to mix together into brown eventually. Yeah. So you're going to have to deal with the brown regardless. And that still exists. No amount of rejecting the brown is ever going to make it disappear. Yeah.
And it's going to look like shit.
Yeah, but your perspective of it looking like shit.
Well, yeah.
Is why it's shit.
No, absolutely.
Whereas you can see beauty in the brown. There's nothing wrong inherently, except from your assumption of it.
Yeah.
So why see that as any less?
Take a brown horse, for example. There are people out there that like horses. And they're going to say, a brown horse is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea then, with shadow work being part of your arsenal, is that like everyone goes around actually wearing this mask, and shadow work is where we're supposed to ground ourselves in authenticity, in our truth. Because here we go. Have you ever recognized that you're a different person in different situations?
I think if anyone says no to that, they're probably lying, aren't they? So
yeah. Do you feel like you act a specific way at work?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then when you go to the pub, you're a different person.
Yep.
Around a certain group of friends, you're a different person. When you go out shopping, you're a different person.
Yeah.
Why? What's so wrong about being yourself? Why do you have to change?
Yeah.
What's so unacceptable? Of course, there's certain things like you don't want to go around effing and blinding at work. There's a certain decorum that's expected in certain places.
I think that's more behaviour than who you are, though, isn't it? So.
Yeah, of course. But are you essentially abandoning yourself to survive in different situations in life, putting on that mask that isn't actually you?
Yeah.
To protect yourself. Because what would happen if I took it away and just put myself out there?
I think that's a very good question for everybody on a journey like this to sort of sit back and ask themselves, really. Who am I being in this particular environment? What am I changing, or am I abandoning my true self? Am I running away from? Am I trying to run away from my shadows rather than address them, love them?
Yes.
Because everything passes away except from love, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is how I'm being in this moment coming from a place of authenticity?
Absolutely.
Or is it something I'm manufacturing from a state of fear? Yeah. And it's very easy to tell because of your emotions. Yeah. Not necessarily the emotions I'm having, but am I resisting that emotion? Yeah. Am I feeling anxious? Because here we go. It's a good example. Before we got on this call, I felt a bit anxious.
Okay.
Actually, so I was like, look, we're gonna go and live stream.
Yeah.
Like, to a couple of people. I mean, me and you had a chat earlier just to test this out.
Yeah.
Now we're going live, and I felt that anxiety. I felt that bit, blah blah blah. But I could let that mean something bad. I could worry myself about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think, what do I do to change this? It needs to change. It needs to change. I need to sort it out so I'm okay, so I can get on here. Or, it's okay. I'm feeling anxious, and that's all right.
Yeah.
There's nothing I need to do about that. And then, now I'm here, it's all just washing away. But if I was to still feel anxious, then what's wrong with sitting and feeling that? What's wrong with admitting that right here, right now?
Yeah.
To you? What's wrong with talking about these things?
Yeah.
You know?
I'll be totally honest. This is the first time I've ever done a more than one person in a live. So it was almost completely new to me. So I got a bit anxious around lunchtime because I'm sitting there going, I've got about 6 hours to figure this out.
Okay.
And it was a case of, okay, I'm just going to figure it out. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, I could always try something else. And then again, before we actually went live, we tested it, and the test was all fine. And I was okay with that. And I got a little bit anxious before we went live, before I jumped on this call, before I got everything sort of together as I felt it okay to be. And it was literally a case of, right, I recognised the fact that I was feeling a bit anxious about it because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work. And sometimes that's the magic of it, not knowing how.
Yes.
And
just taking that action, no matter how you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Just go and do it.
You're stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. If you're scared, do it scared. You're still going to do it either way. So. And it was like one of the principles I took on. I think it was after, for those of you that don't know, I did a discovery call not so long ago with Jamie. Absolutely brilliant time. And so Jamie does coaching sessions as well. He's going to drop a link shortly. So if you want to check him out, please feel free to do so. I'm afraid that I don't get any affiliate discounts, so please don't ask me for any. Not just yet, anyway. When I'm that stage. But yeah. So following that, I adopted a method called RAIN. I may have spoken about this on a previous live session with people. The R is for recognise, to recognise what you're feeling at the time. The R is for the A is for accept or acknowledge. So it's a case of, okay, I'm feeling this way right now, so I'm feeling anxious. I acknowledge that. Identify why. So, for example, I'm feeling anxious because X, Y, Z, and then the N would be non-identification, which is more of a Buddhist term than anything else. And it's a case of, okay, so I'm feeling this way because of X, Y, Z, but it's going to be, and that kind of ties on with what you were just talking about as well. But again, we go back to this where we didn't know how it was going to go, how it was going to end up, and I've seen a chat message from Vlad in the chat there, who's all the way out to Ukraine. So shout out to Vlad, saying that he could hear us twice. So I quickly sorted out one of the volume settings. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Another question for you, Jamie, is what has shadow work done for you? Okay.
Yes. So, right. So I actually went and paid for a big load of mentoring, like in this. And before that, I was this absolute anxious wreck. I'm autistic, and I was that shy, nerdy kid at school that just was a bit bullied and all that stuff, and had a bit of a never really wanted to talk to anyone. Had lots of overwhelm all the time, panic attacks and that stuff, and really going through this, like, warts and all, absolutely transformational. I couldn't think of anything else as massive in my life. It's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal, except for my daughter being born, of course. But as in, like, a personal transformation for me, like, taking ownership and just stepping fully into it has been absolutely phenomenal. Like nothing I could ever imagine. And now I'm teaching it. Now I'm using it as a modality to heal people. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic, but it's one of those things where you got to be ready.
Absolutely.
You got to be ready, because the idea is this logical thinking part of our brain, like, just doesn't want to let go of the thinking.
No, it's like you've got two walls, isn't it?
Yeah, we spend our whole life up here or feeling, but no, don't want to feel that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's not nice. Don't feel that. Oh no, numb that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Distract myself. So that's the question. Can you sit by yourself in this present moment with nothing happening and be okay with that?
It begs the question, doesn't it? That is a
question for everyone.
That is a huge question, and I found myself asking it quite a lot. There was times where, you know, I'd get home and it was like the earth would be still, and you just either stand or sit there and nothing would be happening. There'd be no distractions. The TV would be off, the lights would be off, or anything like that. Let's not talk about the dog going at 100 miles an hour for at least 10 minutes when I get home. But you kind of just sit there and you go, so this is stillness. You know, so this is being still. This is just being, and you know, everything else stems from you, doesn't it? You know, you change your conception of self, and then you watch how the world changes around you. I mean, of course, it doesn't happen like that, but I mean, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. But it's how you feel about it as well. I mean, if instantly you go, right, here's how I am, and then instantly it shifts all whatever feels like weight. You actually think about the bloke that had a go at you the other week for stepping on his grass, and go, do you know what? Actually, he's a good bloke. You know, it's fascinating. To me, it's fascinating. And
but those people, when they sit, that stillness just appears out of nowhere. Yeah, they have that moment. They get home. You get home from work, and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Most people switch the telly on.
Yeah.
Or they put music on. Or they crack open a beer. Or anything to escape myself right here. So I ask you, what's wrong? What's wrong with that? Why can't you do that? Most people can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something might get triggered by that. You might go, yeah, of course, yeah. Some people might be like, no, of course I can. Of course I can. Yeah, of course I could do that. But actually, that's the rational mind. Okay, no, of course I'm good enough.
Yeah.
Of course I'm happy with myself as I am right now. But then when they actually sit there, when you sit there and be still, all this stuff you've been stuffing down your entire life starts to bubble up to the surface. Because that's the nature of things. We seem to be these beings that are unlike any other life on this planet, that just exists and just is so perfect at being. Like a cat is so great at being a cat. It doesn't think and get stuck in its suffering about the fact that it's a cat and it's it's got to do this and do that. It just is a cat. Yeah. Whereas we've got these thinking minds that just get all wrapped up in this crap that just seems to run us. Yeah. And so when you stop all this thought, the feeling starts to come up. And we're not used to feeling, because we're used to just rationalizing it all. And that can feel really, really uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And so we're just so averse to it. So it's run away, it's escape, it's numbing.
And that's, well, from what I've experienced, and that's where you experience what some like to call maybe a dark night of the soul, because all the feelings are coming up in quick succession, and because you've spent so long trying to rationalize everything, you just become overwhelmed. Well, what feels like overwhelmed, but you're just processing it in the most normal way. It just feels a little bit more intense than what you're used to, and you're just like, okay, so this is happening.
Yes, because it's all coming up, and it wants to be felt. It wants to be authentically experienced. Because once you do that, you re-embody it. It gets integrated. Yeah, there's if you read Letting Go by David R. Hawkins, he talks about feeling it all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
And it shall end. All this stuff, all this what we call resistance, is this discomfort that you can feel. And you usually feel it, I feel it down in the gut, but it can be like a sensation, a tingling or a tension.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you actually allow yourself to finally sit with it and not try and do anything about it. Not try to fix it. Not try to think about why it's there, or even blame it or judge it or want it to move or change. Then you allow it to pass through you, you integrate it, and then the thoughts associated resolve themselves. You don't have to do any of these mental gymnastics that some people say is a really good idea, in some spiritual circles. But you can't fix this. You can't fix this by thinking.
Yeah.
There is no fixing. That's the whole problem itself. If the truth is that you are this pure, perfect, whole-healed, full and fulfilled and complete being, that is your awareness, the one aware of Jamie, not Jamie, but the awareness aware of Jamie, then there's nothing to fix. There's nowhere to go. You can't cut that resistance out and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the experience that is that whole, fulfilled and complete being. It's the action of severing yourself down the middle and pushing that away, which gives you this feeling of being broken, but you're not.
And I think where, sometimes there's a label on it as well. It's like, you've got this mental illness, you've got depression, you've got anxiety, you've got PTSD. It's the way I feel about it is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been in that situation where a doctor has turned around to me and gone, "You've got depression," and I went, "No, I haven't." And he's still gone, "Okay, well, I'm going to give you these." I says, "Okay, I'm not going to take them." I mean, not everybody's experience is going to be the same in that regard. But the way I look at that now is that they're telling you that something is broken and that it needs fixing, when it's the only thing that needs fixing is your awareness of it.
Yeah, it's a correction of your perception, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And how I see it is a lot of modern science and medicine is really hell-bent on treating symptoms rather than going to the root cause.
Yeah. Absolutely. And in a lot of mainstream therapeutic counseling kind of professions, it's a lot more about finding coping mechanisms, as if there's something to be coped with. Yeah. And what is coping?
What is coping? That's assuming that I'm broken.
Yeah.
And there is no fix. So I'm stuck with this. And I'm not detracting on anyone's personal experience. That's a perfectly valid experience of life. That's the idea. It's valid. Of course it is. But your resistance to it, you're saying it's unacceptable to be depressed. I hate the fact that I'm depressed. I just want this to end. I can't cope anymore. Well, I'll ask you, is it okay that you feel that way? Honestly. Is that okay? And when you finally accept that it's okay to feel shit, then you start to allow it all to come out and authentically feel it from that place of non-judgment. Because there's nothing that's broken. You're not broken. It's okay to feel. You can allow yourself to integrate it, to bring it all in and love it. Because this part of you that you feel like you're cut down the middle, and there's a part of me that wants this stuff and really understands intellectually that this is where I want to go. And you wouldn't choose. If you had a choice, you wouldn't be depressed, would you? If you had a choice, you wouldn't.
No, of course not.
You are. But there's this supposedly other side of me that disagrees.
Yeah.
That says, no, this is the way things are. And I hate it. And then I feel really bad about the fact that I hate it. Then I feel shame about the fact that I hate it. And then I feel anger about the shame about the fact that I hate it. And then the idea of feeling that gives me fear. And then I feel sad about the fear, you see, and then it's just a loop. It's just a loop that I'm just thinking, and avoiding the feelings. It never ends, if that's where you are.
And then when you do decide to feel it out, when you do decide it's okay, and you do decide to accept it, how liberating is it?
You know, absolutely massive.
It's immense. Absolutely immense. It was like that session that you did with myself. Was that back in August now? Whilst even you said to me, there's quite a lot that you've done by the sounds of things. You said to me, but we still went through and did it anyway. And even after that, it told me that there was a couple of things there that I hadn't quite addressed. And after we got off that call, I just sat in the chair for a little bit, just again in the stillness, with the nothing in the background, no TV on, no music on, nothing. Literally just sat there for a little bit, and I went, "Holy hell, I feel free." And I cannot remember a time when I've sat there and said that to myself before. Honestly, anybody that hasn't done shadow work or has no idea what it is, read on it, find videos on it, find Jamie when he drops his link, and honestly, it's some liberating stuff. Honestly, if there's something in there, there usually is. When people embark upon this journey, where they're like, oh, you know, I'm putting all this stuff together. I'm doing all this work, and you know, it's effortless. You know, what you're getting hold of is the tools, and you know, it just comes in a rhythm. And then you still got people that are going, oh, I'm not quite sure what's going on, because you know, every time I do X, Y, Z, I feel tight here. And the first thing I think of when I hear someone say that is, you haven't addressed your shadow. There is something else there that you're not letting go. And you kind of just got to be. It's like the subtle art of not giving a shit. In a way, you know, the lowest form of vibration you can be is indifferent. In order for,
like, apathy.
Yeah. In order for things to improve. Because at the end of the day, it's like you said at the beginning. Everybody is you pushed out, and I'd like to assume so is everything. Everything comes
absolutely everything.
Yeah, every experience comes from you.
Yeah, you are at the center.
Yeah,
there's nothing outside of you.
That's why they call it the universe.
Yes.
As a play on words, you know. But
you are the I am.
Yeah.
Where it all comes. Whenever anything happens, you're there to witness it, aren't you?
Even.
And how can you ever say that anything happens separate from you?
Yeah.
Because whenever anything happens that you're aware of it. And then people can say, well, no, because something happened over there, and then.
Yeah. Yes, but you were aware that it happened over there.
Became aware of it.
Yeah.
So how on earth can you say there's any objectivity to any of it?
Yeah.
Outside of your awareness.
If a tree falls down in a forest, is there, and there's nobody there to hear it, does it make a sound? That's what that makes me think of.
Well, we're aware of the tree right now.
Yeah.
Making the sound.
It does. We would be aware of it making that sound, but had we been none the wiser to this action going on,
would it even fall in the forest if we were aware of it? If we were not aware of it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're not told about said tree,
yeah,
we're not knowing about anything falling down, are we? So.
Yeah. How do you know?
Yeah.
You don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
it's a bit of a mad thing to think about. But that brings it all back full circle, that if everything, absolutely everything, no exceptions, is God, and you, so are the things that, your emotions and the things that trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those things that you don't want to think about, those things that you don't want to experience, those things that you avoid.
Yeah.
Those things that I really don't want this to happen, so I'm going to think and visualize and affirm the opposite, because I really don't want this thing to happen.
You're going to kiss the local oak tree, yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Going back to trees, yeah.
Like, who are you being?
Yeah.
When you're visualizing? Are you being that infinity? That one with everything, that's happy to experience the part of you that says, no, I'm not worthy of that. Well, no, I'm fulfillment itself, so of course I can experience the non-worthiness.
Yeah.
I don't need to resist that anymore.
And I think partly along with, you know, people changing their conception of self.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't think you always need to be fully healed. Let's say in the case of relationships, I don't think you always need to be fully healed in order to claim one. However, in order to keep it there, it might do you a hell of a lot of good. As well as the conception of self, you know, because I think absolutely anybody in this earth can all of a sudden wake up one morning and think, okay, I'm going to get that guy as my boyfriend. Yeah, that might happen. But what's going to keep him there? You know, that's how you see yourself. I mean, you could get 2 weeks into that relationship, not using time as a gospel, as it were. However, you could be X amount of weeks into that relationship, all of a sudden you're thinking, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
Yes. Or it's your reason for getting that.
Yeah.
To fill a hole that you perceive that exists.
I want to be with this person because the place I find myself in now does not feel like it's enough to me. So I need to feel something by getting more.
Yes. Whereas that's impossible. You already have everything. You already are everything. That is a universal truth.
Yeah.
You already are utterly complete, whole, fulfilled, and healed in this very moment. You are that infinite being. So it's impossible, really. You're creating an impossibility. Say, I need that to fulfill me. But you can have that experience because you've chosen to perceive it that way. You can have you're so utterly loved and unconditionally loved that you can have that experience of suffering and of unfulfillment.
And then you go sort of another few weeks down the line, and all of a sudden you've lost it again, and you're like, why has this happened to me? Because this is how you perceived it to go.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a mirror.
So are you trying to get stuff to fulfill yourself?
Yeah.
From non-fulfillment, or are you that fulfillment just going from fulfillment here in this present moment? I don't need anything to change. But that sounds fun. That sounds fun, but it doesn't diminish who I am right now.
Yeah, it was like I posted a success story on the school with regards to the computer that I got.
Yeah.
And how that started off was, I didn't need it. I'm sat there doing some work on this computer, and I realized what it was. It took me a while to figure everything out on it, and I just sat there and I went, one of these at home would be pretty cool. And then you fast forward sort of 4 or 5 months, and then I've got one, and it's like I totally wasn't expecting that, and it's like you say, it's the I'm good with it, I'm good without it.
Yes, absolutely, and this that's literally it.
Yeah,
you've described it. That people get so caught up on, but don't I need to visualize and affirm and then let go? Yeah. So to finally get the thing that I really, really want,
just throw it somewhere. Yeah. I need this, but just. That's kind of how it goes.
I really need SP. So I'm going to affirm and visualize. I really need them. Feeling so shit, but I really don't want to experience that feeling shit.
Yeah.
I can't experience that feeling shit, so I'm going to visualize and affirm, because then when I get the SP, I won't feel the shit.
So you're using that to validate.
Yeah.
To validate what you're doing, and it's like
never going to happen. But maybe if you robotically affirm enough, it's still possible. Because what you're aware of has to be proven to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you are aware of being has to be proven to you. So if you really stick at it through a lot of suffering, you can force it, but it'll fly away from you as quickly as that.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, because you haven't addressed the core beingness, which is unfulfillment, non-fulfillment.
Yeah.
But you are already fulfilled. There's nothing wrong with who you are right now. You don't need any of it. And a lot of people might feel triggered by that statement. Good. I want you to feel triggered. That's a good thing. Why do you feel that that's bad? Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? And again, if your perspective of things is reality, then you can adjust your perspective of the negative emotions, of the triggers themselves. Yeah? It all serves me.
Yeah.
It's all working towards my highest good. Oh, a trigger's come up. Oh, fantastic. What part of me am I pushing away that I could integrate and just into my fulfillment right now of who I really am, and then just move forward, and then carry on. Like, I expect this person to appear. I expect this thing, load of fun, but it doesn't matter. I don't need any of it because I've got all this stuff. I'm me. I don't need it. It's fine. Yeah.
The way I personally look at triggers, it took me a little bit to think of it this way, is that triggers are something that comes up after a certain event, certain situation. It can be absolutely anything. It can involve anybody, or it doesn't have to involve anybody at all. And it's a part of you that was maybe expecting to experience that before your experience came into fruition the way it is now, and you're like, oh well, I'm not doing that. But I also think it's an old program, as it were. It's part of that dying, and everything screams when it dies, which is why it feels so crap. So I think the more you experience those kind of triggers, as it were, the easier it becomes to simply let them be and just go, okay, so this is happening. Let's move forward. Let's get on with it.
So in the realm of shadow work, a trigger is like when you feel triggered, something happens, you get that feeling, lightness.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Feels like you're going to die, doesn't it?
Almost, yeah, almost.
It's like that fear of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're so tuned to, as these beings that originally, before we evolved to have this thinking, logical brain, we had this emotional monkey brain that just wanted to survive in the jungle.
Going back to the chimp paradox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still thinks it's in the jungle. So it's part of you that, and it usually comes down to a childhood experience that you had pretty much every time with my clients and myself, even. Yeah. I've got a great friend and business partner, and we co-coach each other. And it's pretty much always a childhood experience. And it could be something as simple as when I was a kid, I had a dog. My mum petted the dog, and I thought that my mum loved the dog more than me. So I feel unlovable. Yeah, it can be as simple as that. And that is trauma.
Yeah,
that's trauma. Yeah, a child experiences that and then makes a snap judgment, an assumption about itself. And you have such a limiting view of life at that age, and so you make these snap decisions, which is traumatic for such a small child to feel like mom doesn't love me right now, loves the dog more. My life feels threatened by this. Or say you're at a family dinner at a restaurant, and you're loud and laughing and screaming, and the parents are like, shh, not here, not right now. Trigger, oh my God, I'm going to die. My parent does not love me right now because I'm being expressive. And the intention might not have been at all like that way from the parent. It could have been very, very simple, very, very calm, very, very stable parenting. But from a child's point of view, that's traumatic.
Yeah, I've done something wrong, so
that can be traumatic. It's my fault because as a child, you're very egocentric.
Yeah,
everything is because of me. Yeah, that's the way I view the world. So I'm going to disown this side of myself from now on. That is expressive, that is loud, and become this shy child, and then that just keeps reaffirming in a loop.
Yeah.
Into adulthood, you are this shy adult. Yeah. And then you start rationalizing it as well. I've always been shy. I think it's just because I've never got on well with people at school. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, it's just the way I am. Yeah, it's never going to change.
Has a domino effect, doesn't it? Yeah.
Think, rationalize, rationalize.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to feel that. Yeah. Then someone singles you out in a crowd or in a group. Like, what do you think, Jamie, about this topic? Oh, everyone's looking at me.
Yeah.
I've got to express myself. That's scary. You see?
And I think knowing what you know now, it's completely different.
But that's the expressive side of yourself that's like, I want to come out, please, love me. That's that little child that felt like it was going to die. So it suppressed that side of itself forever.
Yeah.
So with shadow work, we go back and we fully allow ourselves to re-experience these things, to really re-experience that moment of but I was just having a laugh, I was just screaming, and that's okay. Why did you do that to me, Dad? Why did you do that? And cry and scream and be angry and do whatever that little child missed out on experiencing. And then, boom, you've reintegrated your expressiveness. Just like that.
And it can all be, it's all so simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's honestly, anybody that hasn't experienced that is mind blowing.
It's simple, but it's uncomfortable.
Of course.
Because we're averse to feeling that discomfort. Because as natural animals, they're averse to pain, because pain kind of indicates that risk of death, that risk of injury, which would lead to death. And the survival side of your brain just wants to survive. So anything that feels bad, right away from that.
Yeah,
that means death. But it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with it. We've evolved into these beings where we can see it from this perspective. We can correct the perception we have with ourselves in this way, to really evolve beyond that part of ourself that just wants to survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Step into that empowerment.
Absolutely.
It's massive.
That being said, I wanted to know if anybody who's watching now would have any questions for you. If you'd like to quickly put them in the chat. I don't want to keep Jamie out for too long because it is getting late. And
I'm having fun now. So
are you having fun now? Okay.
Yeah. It's as long as we want to go, really.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so if anybody's got any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll read them out, and then we'll see what kind of answers Jamie has. I'm going to take a quick drink. Don't mind my cup.
That's why I had one of them when I was about 6.
I did that on purpose. I saw it in the shop and I had to buy it. So yeah. I definitely brought out my inner child that day.
Absolutely. Bring it along with you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's true, because we're literally little children living in adult bodies.
Well, yeah. And where
being told, it's time to grow up and be an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagination is for children. Yeah. Don't feel angry. Yeah. There's society kind of beats a lot of people up for anger and stuff, and social media has all this trigger warning stuff on it and all sorts. It's like society is engineered in a way to placate people's trauma in a way where you're a victim. 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 Victim blaming. Victim blaming. But what about victim empowering?
Even. What? Yeah. What about seeing it from the other side of the fence?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So Hazel's saying it's freeing feeling like you're in touch with your inner child again. It's like you can finally have fun and enjoy life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because you actually never left.
Yeah.
The child. Yeah, you're one with it.
Mm.
No, there's no difference. You just made that difference. Society told you that you had to make that difference.
Yeah, it's only what's outside of you that tells you to grow up, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my perspective.
But the massive truth is that imagination is the only real reality. If you follow Neville Goddard.
Okay, so Hazel's got a question. She says, I've done a lot of healing through meditation and hypnosis. What's your take on that?
Well, that's a similar thing. Meditation, I guess, I assume you're just sitting and allowing. You're allowing your thoughts and your feelings to be, rather than I'm going to sit and clear my mind and try and get somewhere. It's more like I'm going to sit and just allow myself to be, and allow whatever there is that exists that's happening just to do what it's going to do, and that's okay. It's when people go, I'm going to meditate and like try and clear everything because something needs to be done about that.
Yeah.
Because it's not acceptable. I need to change what's going on. Yeah, I need to get to a specific state, and then I'll be good enough, and then I will have got there. But what if you're already there?
So you're putting a condition on it, aren't you? So
yeah, what if you always have been there?
Yeah.
It's just the realization of that, and the letting go of the sides of yourself that disagree. And with hypnosis, which I'm learning, and
oh wow,
my friend is flipping genius at. I have to get him on as well. It's really good. Yeah, my friend Daniel. You would generally be led through an emotional release. It could, because again, all hypnosis is just someone guiding you or guiding yourself into a relaxed state, and then using your imagination. That's all it is. And then you can guide yourself into self-acceptance of maybe a traumatic experience or a side of yourself or a particular emotion. Yeah. And then you can usually lead to a moment of acceptance or emotional release in regard to something that you're holding on to. That's the idea with the shadow work as well. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. So you would have this emotional release of a cry or anger or even, for example, Daniel was leading me through hypnosis, and there was a breakthrough I had where I felt like I felt like I had this split down the middle. Yeah, there's this shadow part of myself that I wasn't really connecting with, and it was like loving myself. I can't love myself. I can't truly love myself. And the realization for me was that I fucking hate myself. I hate myself so much. And then Daniel was like, so what's so bad about that? So I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't hate myself. And then the realization struck, and we laughed so hard.
I can imagine, yeah.
In the moment, because it's like, wow, I can't love myself because I feel like it's wrong to hate myself. Okay, I'm going to allow myself to hate myself. I really, really hate myself. I really felt that.
Yeah.
Really allowed myself to hate myself for the first time ever. Authentically hate myself. And then it's like, well, I've done that now. Well, now it feels like a choice. Drop that. I can love myself now. Wow.
Wow.
You see?
And that's, yeah.
It's not the emotion itself. It's your resistance to feeling it. It's your resistance to that authenticity.
And the resistance itself takes energy. It's like the way I perceive anger is the complete opposite of love, which is resistance to love. So by applying that resistance, it's like you're pushing a car uphill with the handbrake off, or with the handbrake on, even, because no matter how hard you push, it's still not going to go anywhere. And after a while, you just get tired, and you just think, well, sod this, I'm not going to bother anymore. And that's the same way I heard that. Right, so Vlad's out in the Ukraine. Hi Vlad, if I haven't said hello already. Thank you for joining us. I remember when I had powerful emotional releases, I had small things break around me. Really made me believe that mental and physical are connected.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ooh, I like that one.
Anything breaking, but I was at a friend's, and he just set up. I stayed over at a mate's house, actually relatively recently in the past couple of months, and he laid out like a camp bed in the living room for me, with his TV there, and I was sat there and I was like, this is when I had a recent revelation about, actually, I'm still resisting the present moment and who I am, really.
Yeah.
So I sat there, I was like, can I be okay with absolutely everything right now? Full self-acceptance of the present moment. Really felt into that strongly, just as I am right now.
Yeah.
And the TV started to flick on and off.
What?
Like white static.
Madness.
On and off, on and off, on and off. I was like, I got up in the morning, I was like, does your TV normally do that? It's like, no.
And that's essentially what I'll say it to everybody till I'm blue in the face. It's, we are energetic beings having a human experience covered in slabs of meat, riding a rock flying through space.
Absolutely.
So for these little things to happen, to me, it's not. I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for, well, whatever reason you define it to.
Yeah, and the real reason is you.
Yeah. Other than that, it's meaningless.
Yeah, it's meaningless, but it doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes out of you.
Yeah.
There's no other place that anything comes from.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, crazy, man. But it's really interesting. I have these crazy experiences, just synchronicities, all day, every day. Just numbers, just seeing numbers and all sorts of stuff. But also, do you ever walk down the street and people walk past you and something you're thinking about, they're having a conversation that relates to it? Have you ever had that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Thought transmission.
Yeah.
And
things like that. It's always happening. It's always going on. It was always there. You're just becoming more aware of it.
For example, I think it was a couple of days ago. Now I speak to Hazel quite often. Hazel, who's in the chat, I speak to Hazel quite often, and occasionally I'd send her a motivational quote, and I think it was 2 days ago. I sent her one of these motivational quotes just to start the day off, as it were, and she sent me a note saying, funny that I was just thinking about the fact that you might send me you might send me a reel or whatever, and there you are. Little things like that.
It's cool.
But yeah, I noticed the numbers a bit more as well. Although I don't take stock of them as much as I used to. When I started, you kind of
when you look at that and say, oh, that's a sign, or it means something, blah 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 blah. You're basically just saying that's more powerful than me.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so
it's just something that's happening.
So what's it a sign of? And you're just like, I don't know. It's a sign of.
Well, no. all it ever is a sign of is that you are the ultimate single creator of That's it. There's no other real meaning to that. And then you apply that meaning over the top.
It's just
just give it all a good meaning.
It's just a tracking number.
Yeah. It's all unfolding perfectly.
Yeah.
My life is perfect. It's exactly where it needs to be. Nothing needs to change.
Yeah. You are always where you need to be at exactly the right time.
Mm.
Yeah, even if you're just starting out, well, I say starting out, but even if you just stepped into the realm of going, holy shit, this could be all different. Like, I think the easiest way for me to explain it is, you've just decided to take the red pill instead of the blue one.
Mm.
And you're going, so if everything happens up here, it then happens out here. And then you're just like, oh, holy shit. And then you almost become fearful of it because there's two parts of your mind that are fighting each other now. And the one that succeeds is the one that you feed, isn't it? So.
Yeah. You can get. This seems like a common experience that people then suddenly get fearful that oh wow, I'm actually suddenly responsible for everything.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. You've always been responsible.
Oh yeah.
You've always been the single source of everything. That's never changed, and that doesn't change the fact that you've become more aware of it. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Your being afraid puts reasons there to be afraid. But again, there's no problem with that either. That's okay. Can you allow yourself to be afraid of that? Can you allow that to be a valid experience?
I think once people get over that, well, not get over it, but get past that, get past the fear and realizing that it's perfectly okay to go through the things that they have gone through, because let's face it, it is. It becomes quite exciting in a way, because knowing that everything starts with you to begin with, you think, well, if I've had this experience before, I can create it again. I mean, in some cases, depending on what it is, there might be a little bit of resistance for that, where you just got to not get rid of the resistance, but allow the resistance to pass, and get to a point where that resistance is no longer there. But you realize at the same time exactly how you were when you first had it. You were okay with it, and you're okay without it.
Yeah.
And then you get to that point again where the same experience comes back, and you're like, wow, look what the cat dragged in. And it's going back to the metaphor of cats, But yeah, it's incredible when you look at it. When you look at it that way, it's like
life becomes fun.
It
becomes more childlike.
Exactly.
Or you're more detached. You're more just happy to experience what's right in front of you right now.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next moment, but not diminishing the present.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's like when I was a kid, I used to imagine. My imagination was wild. I used to imagine like riding motorbikes all the time. Lo and behold, as soon as I hit 17, I've got a motorbike. That's when you really start creating stuff.
Yeah. I had a 125 when I was 17. Actually, it's a Yamaha.
Oh, same as well. I've got Yamaha now. But.
Might be a hard thing. 125. Yeah, that was fun. Never got anything more powerful.
No, do you drive now?
No. Need to pass my test. Still.
That's easy.
I did. I failed the first time.
I failed the first time, but I keep getting told that the best drivers always fail the first time.
All right. Second time. second time was pretty much perfect, except for. Excuse me. There you go. There goes some resistance.
Feel it out.
Second time, if you're not from the UK, it might be a bit confusing if you don't know about roundabouts, but normally at a roundabout, you go in the left lane if you're going to go first exit or straight ahead. Yeah. Well, I came up to a roundabout where the left lane was marked just for the first exit.
Okay. Yep.
And I went straight ahead.
So it was a directed one.
Yeah, it was a directed one, and I went straight ahead, and so I failed.
Oh well.
Annoying. So part of me is like, I really don't fancy doing it again. I just decide that I've just passed anyway. Just revise that and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Anything's possible.
Vlad says shadow work is like a roller coaster. It's good to remember that feelings. He's put can, but I'm wondering if he meant can't. If you'd like to clarify that for us, please, Vlad, when you're ready.
Yeah. I assume that means can't actually hurt you.
Yeah. That's the way I'd assume it. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. When you accept and process them, he says, but if you ignore them, they just attract all kind of shit into life.
Yeah, man. Because that's still going on.
Yeah.
Under your awareness. Well, it's all within your awareness because there's nothing, because that's reality. This is the subconscious. It's subconscious. It's below the conscious awareness.
Yeah.
Subconscious. So actually, for people out there that think, oh, I've got to go in and fix and find all these subconscious beliefs that I've got.
Yeah.
One, if that's what you're aware of, you're going to create more. Look for. So just be all right with where you are right now.
Yeah,
Why am I doing a thumbs up? I didn't do that. Didn't mean to do that.
Did I do that? Hang on.
No, that was on me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the live stream. I thought someone was putting a thumbs up in the live stream.
I didn't. That's really weird. I did not click the button. What?
Maybe you used a buzzword, or in your head you're going, well, it's because you said you were having fun earlier, so it was just reminding you that you were having fun.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you, some people think, well, to manifest, I then need to really go and look for my subconscious beliefs.
Yeah.
But if you're aware that there's subconscious beliefs that you need to look for, you're going to create the experience of looking for them but never finding them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just go for what you want. Allow it, because it's just right there in front of you, in front of your face. There's nothing that's actually hidden. It's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
It has to, because there's nothing that's separate from you. So just, am I okay in the present moment with who I am right now? If part of me says no, then am I allowed that to be? Because that means nothing as well. That's inherently meaningless.
Yeah, it's only the meaning you're applying.
It's a valid experience of the present moment, so allow that to be. And then any beliefs that need to come up as part of the unfolding, those can come up and be let go of. There's no need to look for this stuff necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed is that when I've decided this is one thing that I want, and then I've made that decision. That's my assumption. That's my conviction. Life can as part of the bridge that moves towards it, the belief gets brought up that then gets let go of. That's part of the bridge towards that. So it's all right. It's all built in to the idea that I've accepted the end, and the unfolding is towards that. Can be the letting go of certain beliefs.
And that's what many people describe as many creators anyway, describe as the bridge of incidents. Now, you never really know that you're actually crossing it or that you've been on it until after it's happened. Because the idea is to stay in the present, stay in the moment, and it's when what you realise that what you want's actually happening or happened. You kind of look back and connect the dots, and you go, okay, so that was the bridge. Now, that can happen. There are a series of events that happen in its unfolding, and they can be either great, good, not so great, seemingly bad, I suppose in some cases, maybe even what people perceive to be catastrophic, depending on how they feel about the incident that's occurred. But it's usually all part of the bridge, isn't it?
Yeah. And who's to say that you're on the bridge or you're not?
Yeah.
Why is there a bridge that needs to be looked for?
Absolutely. You know, you're just walking. That's all you're doing.
I think people get confused about this idea of, I need to make this assumption and then a bridge is going to start happening at some point.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
What if you're always on the bridge?
Yeah.
What if there is no separation between you and the bridge? It's only your idea that there's a bridge that's out there that needs to happen.
You're only aware of it because you're aware of it.
Yeah.
You know, you've been walking this bridge your whole. I think people have been walking it their whole lives.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And
you're walking the bridge. You're always walking the bridge. There's nowhere else to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Than experiencing your beliefs and your assumptions right now, unfolding in front of your very eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you take on the assumption that there's a separate bridge out there that needs to be walked across, then you can have that experience. But you're walking across the bridge of there being another bridge out there to walk across.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah. So you're walking a bridge that you're walking on top of a bridge, and you just like, hello down there, kind of thing, you know.
So people confuse themselves so much and just get wrapped up in their head trying to like intellectualize all this stuff, but it really is super simple.
Yeah.
In my eyes, it's like, can you reduce it down to be as simple as possible, and then reduce it some more, and then reduce it some more, and then reduce it some more, until you come down to the simplest answer, which is me and what I'm aware of right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nothing else. And the assumptions that I have, the truths, the things that I hold to be true about my reality right now.
Yeah. It's like Hazel says, stop looking for the damn bridge.
I'm looking for that bridge.
Yeah.
You're on it.
You're already on it. Stop looking for what you've already found. Yeah.
Exactly. You're on it. You're on the bridge, and you are the bridge itself.
Yeah. Sorry, going back up a little bit. Story time. Apparently, when I was like 5 or 6 in Scotland with my dad, I cried in the car because he wouldn't let me climb Ben Nevis. 23 years later, she's climbed Ben Nevis. So if you're ever looking for an adventure, or probably the longest hike you will ever experience, I'd suggest speaking to Hazel. every time I've spoken to her, well, not so much more recently, but she's usually done a few hikes somewhere, or just randomly gone to some ridiculously picturesque place. It's quite nice to see though. So I've got the dog getting irritable now.
Cool. All right. Where should we go from here?
Where shall we go from here? Further down the bridge that we haven't found yet?
That bridge that we're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Do we assume that we need to find a bridge? That's the next thing to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about, you know, what is shadow work, what can it do, what has it done, how can it affect people, not affect, but how can it help people that are on this kind of journey. Let's talk about what they might expect from a coaching session with Jamie.
Okay. Well, okay. If you were to get on a session with me, well, it depends. It depends where we're at. It depends where you're at. But with a session with me, we'd obviously get on a call and we'd have a little banter to start the session off, and then I'd ask you, well, tell you what, how do you fancy a call? How do you fancy a session right now?
Do you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So
okay, I won't tell you. I'll just literally.
Yeah. So for those that aren't aware, the reason part of the reason that Jamie was on this call is he's also doing a podcast. So what I'll do is I'll ask him to drop the link later on, and I will be featuring on his podcast as well. And in return, he's helping me by being on my live. So we're talking to you guys a little bit about shadow work and some of the benefits it can have, some of the and how it can put the rocket fuel in your journey, as it were. So when Jamie drops his link, do look out for his podcast, because I will be featuring on that at some point. Not going to tell you when, because go tell no man. But it will be happening. So yeah, whenever you're ready, let's. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do first is take a quick break, because I need to get another drink. If there's anybody that's got any questions in the meantime, please do feel free to ask them. I'm going to quickly leave your screen on there, and I'm going to turn this right down a little bit.
Cool. We'll have an intermission, shall we?
Yeah, just a little one.
Yeah, I'm going to grab this toilet quick, so I'll be right back.
What I'll do is I'll put it on this one. And we are back. Hang on, I'm just going to see if I can turn this up.
Sweet.
Can you still hear me okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So I'm just figuring out the volume controls on the bottom of the microphone, so I can't actually see which way it's going. So. Cool. Right, so Vlad's actually got a question. He wanted to know how long you've been doing shadow work for, and what are your favourite techniques?
So I've been doing shadow work since actually right at the start of this year. And techniques, interesting one. Because what would you call, like, just sitting and meeting yourself?
I suppose that would be a form of meditation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, my favourite technique is no technique. It's to drop the idea that there's a technique that's required.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I need to do to change myself to be who I am, to be authentic right now, in this moment? And there are techniques, obviously, to direct yourself into the pain, in the child healing, and things like that. There are certain things like magic phone where I can pretend that on the other end of this phone is someone that I'm really angry at, or like someone that is maybe not with us anymore that I need to say something to, or something like that I'm holding on to, but something that actually needs to be said. I'm going to sit here and like 30 seconds or a minute, so just get it all out, everything that needs to be said, and absolutely valid whatever I say to them. Yeah, something that you might not want to say maybe to their face because you don't want to upset them, but secretly, I really need to be angry at you, or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a good technique. Okay. Well, you're going to find out in a second.
I've got to say, I've done that phone one a number of times, maybe without realizing it was actually part of shadow work, because there were times where
it's all just different modalities and techniques.
Yeah.
It's the umbrella shadow work. It can be used in just traditional coaching or transformational coaching. The idea of shadow work is just really going where the pain is. Really, more than anything.
And addressing that, whereas previously you may have just tried to hide it.
Yeah.
You know.
So the more I get into this, the more I'm seeing where the lines blur between everything. Where we like to section things off, and this is shadow work, and this is conventional therapy, and this is this. And they all have different things that they do, but it's not really. The lines blur, and it's all really one.
Yeah.
Why and how I see it, what it comes down to are you in resistance to yourself and life, which is just you anyway. So effectively you can bundle everything up and simplify it down to everything is you. So are you in resistance to yourself?
Yeah.
Or are you allowing it all right now? And that's it.
Wow.
That's the truth. Those are the two things. Right, so
yeah, right. So what we're gonna get started. Now this is
step into my office.
This is quite a magical thing for me, because I totally wasn't expecting anything like this to happen.
How do you feel about me suggesting this? Does anything get triggered?
No, actually, no. I'm actually quite excited because we've been down this sort of road before. I wasn't expecting it to go on live, so I'm a little bit the tiniest bit anxious, not as much as I was, say, at the beginning, because I'm like, how is this going to be received? But at the same time, it doesn't really matter, because I personally think it's going to be quite beneficial to a lot of people that might even catch the replay on this as well.
Yeah, man. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Anyway. I want to be coaching people live and put it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
it's not scary.
Yeah.
Of course it's scary. It's scary, but that's okay.
Sometimes you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
All the time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I sit corrected. I sit corrected.
Yeah. That's
cool.
Okay.
Right. So now I'm in your realm.
Yes. Step into my office. So let's take a deep breath. Into the nose. Out through the mouth. How are we doing today now? Is there anything for the end of the session? If there was one thing that you would like to work on in this session, what would that be? Is there anything on your mind at the moment? Is there anything that you're particularly struggling with?
Anger for past experiences.
Anger. Okay.
Yeah.
What specifically about that anger?
It's anger when I think about a particular person. Yeah.
That's right. Who is this person? Are you happy to talk about this?
Yeah. Somebody I formerly called a friend.
Okay. You don't need to say their name if you want to keep their anonymity. You want to keep their anonymity.
I'd like to keep their anonymity because although I do need to address the fact that every time I do hear the name, it does make me angry, but I do believe that I can do that at another time.
That's cool, and that's okay. So, why aren't you allowing yourself to feel this anger?
Because I allowed myself to be wrong such a long time ago, I no longer feel it's relevant.
Okay. So why aren't you relevant? Why aren't you relevant enough to experience this anger right now?
I think because I got used to thinking, if it's old news, you don't need to worry about it anymore. I think, it's the way I've been programmed.
So then why are you holding on to it still? Why is it still running you?
That's a real good question.
That's okay.
It's a real good question.
It's all right. Okay. Take a deep breath. In through the nose. Now, listening to the sound of my voice, I want you to just shut your eyes. And for those listening, we're going to start taking some pranic breathing cycles. So the idea is that I'm going to direct you to pay attention to that voice in between your ears. And to start to imagine that voice in between your ears that's just going around and around, trying to figure everything out, trying to judge, trying to place that blame, trying to understand, trying to intellectualize what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Let's imagine that voice starts to travel down your spine, moving further down, getting quieter and quieter until we reach the base of your spine. And lock into this position down here, allowing that voice just to drift away and to get in touch with the feeling. Because at this position, the base of your spine is where you are most connected to the body, to the feeling, to the emotion. And from this position, we're now going to take some pranic breathing cycles. The idea is that it's in for 6, hold for 3, and out for 6, making a shh sound. And then hold for 3 again. And the idea is that we do that from this position. And it really grounds us further in the body, allowing any sensation that then comes up just to be, because that's okay. So lock into this position. From here, imagine your nose is down there, your ears are down there. Get ready to inhale for the count of 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3, 2, 3, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3 again. 2, 3, and breathe. Taking up more of that space inside, allowing anything that comes up just to be. Any sensation, any feeling, any tension. Just welcome it. Nothing is wrong. This is what it's like, really, to be you. And if that thinking mind comes back, you start to move back into your head, just gently bring the attention back to the base of your spine. From this position now, we're going to take our second grounding breathing cycle. From this position, get ready. Inhale for the count of 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3, 2, 3, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3 again. 2, 3, and breathe. Taking up more space inside, getting in touch with that inner world. Allowing anything that comes up just to be. And from this position, we're going to take our last, final and third grounding breathing cycle from this position. Let's inhale for the count of 6 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3, 2, 3, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3 again. 2, 3, and breathe. Just allowing whatever comes up just to be. Not trying to change anything. Not trying to fix anything. Just meeting ourselves in the present moment, right here, right now. So I want you to become aware of what comes up when I ask you about anger. That anger towards this person who wronged you, this person who disrespected you. What comes up?
Indifference. Yeah, just feeling different about it now.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Like I'd forgiven.
What did I?
Sorry.
Get in touch with the feeling. Breathe into it. It's okay to feel now.
Yeah, just
Covering up.
Just indifferent then.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Then why can't you feel angry?
I don't feel like I need to.
Okay. That's right.
It's like I felt angry for long enough that it's past. Not that it wasn't okay to feel angry. It's just that I don't think it's worth feeling angry anymore.
Hmm. So why is this still on your mind?
I think whilst I didn't feel angry, I also hadn't forgiven, so I needed to forgive.
Hmm.
Because if you can't forget, then you definitely haven't forgiven.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think it was more.
So why haven't you forgiven?
I think because of the severity of the action I allowed to happen.
How about yourself? Is there any anger there for allowing you that to happen?
There is a little bit.
Is that okay?
I think it is. And I think, if so long as so long as I allow it to be, it will do what it needs to do.
What else? I feel like you're still in your head.
Maybe a little bit of sadness.
Is it okay to feel sad?
Yeah.
Can you allow yourself to feel this sadness?
Yeah.
Fully and authentically right now.
I think I can, because I'm starting to feel it getting a little heavy on my chest.
Okay.
And that's usually how it goes when, you know, I feel it out, as it were.
It's all right. You don't need to explain yourself. Why do you need to explain yourself? Why can't you just feel it?
I think it's so I can understand it as well.
That's okay. Understanding is fine. But is that coming at the detriment of the feeling? Are you not fully feeling? Because you need to understand it first.
I think it's more understand why, rather than understand that.
Then why?
But why am I feeling sad? Or
Just why? Why do you need to find out why?
I suppose I've always tried to make things make sense.
Does any of this make sense?
Not all the time.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So is this really about them?
I think it's more about me.
What is it that you need to give yourself to make this okay?
I need to forgive myself.
What needs to happen first?
Love.
Of course we can get to love. What about this sadness? What's that trying to tell you?
I'm thinking detachment.
Thinking detachment.
That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Why not feeling sadness?
Yeah, feeling it out.
Take some deep breaths through the discomfort. You feel the tension coming up and the need to escape back into your head to try and explain it, to try and understand it. Just direct yourself back into the feeling. It's okay. It's okay. Why can't you authentically feel this sadness? Why can't you honor yourself and respect yourself enough to do that right now?
Spent too long feeling like it wasn't relevant.
Feel like it's not right. What's not right?
It's feeling like it now, I think.
What's so not right about this?
Don't even know.
It's okay. It's okay.
I think because, well, I feel like because I've spent so long going, it's not relevant anymore, that I'd forgotten why.
That's all right. You don't need to know from a logical perspective. And that's okay. We're talking to that side of you that thinks otherwise. That side of you that's still holding on. Let's just park that logical thinking, figuring out that just for a second. And talk to that shadow now. That feeling, emotional, sad, angry. Now, how does he feel? What's so irrelevant about the way he feels?
Lack of validation.
From who?
Everyone outside. When really he was looking in the wrong places. Yeah.
Why are you making them responsible for the way you feel?
Habits and previous choices.
So what choice can you make right now? Would serve you.
Start validating myself and allow these emotions to be.
How are you feeling?
Free.
Tension? Any tension? Any resistance coming up?
There was when you were asking the questions, because I think logically I was trying to find the answers despite not knowing. But now.
So what we want to tap into is not trying to logically think about the answer. It's when that trigger response comes up, that sensation in your body that goes, oh, that talking to, not the logical brain. Why can't he authentically feel these feelings? Or so irrelevant?
So he's looking for validation outside of him.
Yes.
As if it was separate from himself.
Why does he need that?
The way I look at it now is, yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
That part of you knows, but why does that part of him that needs it still need it? Why are you still holding on?
Never had to let go before. Too used to it.
Too used to it. What does he gain from staying stuck like this?
Absolutely nothing.
We both know that. But if there wasn't something to gain, then you would have let go of it already. Take a deep breath. Why is this logical side of Nat coming in so strong? Because he knows all the answers, of course he does. But he's not giving that side of Nat that needs the validation, that needs to feel angry, that needs to feel sad, have the light of day. Why can't you honor it fully?
Oh no.
Can you forgive yourself?
Feel like I can.
Is there a side of you that says no?
It's the faintest voice.
Okay. That's right. Are there any there's any feelings and sensation right now of tension? Let's tune to those. Let's do another breathing cycle from this position, and we're going to open up fully to these sensations. On the inhale, and on the exhale, let's imagine them fully integrating, loving them for what they are, allowing them to just pass through us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tune into those sensations of anger, of sadness, those sensations of this person who betrayed you, The sensations of the need for validation. I need their approval. I need it. Let's tune into that. What comes up? And let's inhale for the count of 6. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3, 2, 3, and out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 3 again. 2, 3. Breathe. Is there anything that this side of you that you've been pushing away, needs to know so that you can forgive them?
That it's okay.
When was the first time you felt feeling this way?
Over a year ago.
Yeah. When was the earliest time you felt that need for validation?
About 12 years ago.
Okay. What was that not doing? Who did he need that validation from? Are you willing to share that with us?
That was when I found myself no longer welcome in my father and his then wife's home.
Okay.
Mainly instigated by his wife at the time. I then separated from my girlfriend at the time as well, not voluntarily. And I was in a place that I'd never been before.
How did that make you feel?
Anxious as hell. Abandoned, I guess. Betrayed.
Yes. Why are you stepping so timid?
Yeah, abandoned.
I guess. It's okay. How does he really feel?
A bit pissed off. A bit pissed off.
Who would?
The aforementioned.
What's wrong with being angry? You allowed yourself to feel it fully.
Nothing.
Are you sure?
100%.
What would you like to say to them?
To who?
to whoever. The aforementioned. To whoever. Is there anything left unsaid that needs to be said?
I think to my dad, I'd say, I wish you'd have stepped in when this had occurred. However, it's okay. I think to his then significant other, I would say, I don't appreciate the way that this went down, and you made me feel abandoned, and I essentially was then in a position where I was actually fearing for my life, because I didn't know what was going to happen, where I was going to end up, what kind of situation I found myself in. To the person I was with at the time, I would say to her almost exactly the same thing. Given the situation that I'm in, I don't appreciate the way this went down either. And the way it unfolded, I found quite disrespectful. And whilst I'm willing to work past that, I don't really appreciate it.
But how you really feel? You giving them the benefit of the doubt? Are you really saying it how it is? Are you holding back?
Well, I think to her, I'd just say, you really fucked me off. Excuse my language.
No, totally fine. Well, it's your podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Excuse my language.
Okay. But again, if you authentically want to say that, then what's the problem? Say what needs to be said. Imagine on the other end of this Zoom call, here I am, your ex. What needs to be said? Take a deep breath.
You betrayed me, you hurt me, you really pissed me off. That's it. I don't want to say anything more to her.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Can you forgive me?
It feels difficult and uncomfortable, but I know I want to.
Then why can't you?
Because I'm still pissed off at being betrayed.
Then you really haven't told me what you really wanted to say, have you?
feel like I have.
Okay. Then why can't you forgive me?
I don't know.
It's okay. So we're touching on some resistance here. And if you want to explore this in your own time, this is definitely somewhere where you can go. Okay. You're not comfortable to do this right here, right now.
Yeah, I think we'll do it another time.
I can sense that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No,
It's okay.
yeah.
This is your platform. Yeah. And this is the kind of thing that we would get into in private session. Okay. But this is the kind of thing that for people who are willing, and it's fucking scary to be that disauthentic in public.
I must be honest. I started teetering on the edge of a bit of fear there, because I was like, how, what is this going to bring out? And the longer we got into it, the more resistance I could feel, and I'm like, okay, so something's here,
yes,
which I'm not quite sure about, and it was almost like I stepped on a mine.
Yes. So to analyze this all, so let's forget about this now, and let's analyze what just happened. Okay. Because in a private session, I would push you to the point that you have that emotional release of finally going, you know what, fuck it, I fucking hate you, fuck you, crying, tears, whatever needed to be said. Yeah. If that needs to be said. For most people, that really is the truth.
Yeah.
Did that touch something for you?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, you see?
Wow.
But do you see, as we were starting, and I was really trying to get around this logical mind of yours that's like, yeah, but I'm trying to figure it out. But no, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm not angry. It's okay. It's not fine.
It felt like there was a lot of that going on.
Yeah. But that's just this.
Yeah.
Going around and around and around and around, saying, no, I can't feel any of this.
Yeah.
So what's so scary? So what's so scary about letting all that out?
I think it's uncharted water, isn't it? That's how it felt to me. It's like you get into a place that you've not really been before. It was the chimp. The chimp. Yeah. This is comfortable. Stay here.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
So you've livened up now that we're back in the comfort zone.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. This is comfortable. Stay here.
So.
Yeah.
So why wear that mask? Why can't you be authentic about that stuff? And I'm not saying that you have to air your dirty laundry.
No, of course.
For everyone, and I don't want to push you towards that. Although we were getting there, and if you were welcome and open to doing that, then that would be fantastic. But at the same time, it's perfectly okay for you to choose not to. But this is still something that you're holding on to.
Yeah. It's eye-opening.
Yeah, you see.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah. And it's not anything to do with the container and the fact that this is a podcast.
No.
Yeah. That's not the reason. That might contribute to the fact that you didn't want to fully go the whole way. But that's okay. That's completely fine. And this is something I need to still figure out, because this is the first time I've done this live.
Yeah, of course.
So because we need to get specific. There are specific people's lives that they need to have conversations with, and they need to air that stuff to really get out how they feel.
Yeah. So
homework for you then, magic phone.
Yeah, definitely.
Have that conversation.
That's got to happen. That's got to happen.
Fucking scream it out if that's what it is. Yeah, feel that authentically.
And I think anybody else that's either watching now or watching the recap of this, if you're having that conversation with yourself, like, why can't I let this out? That's kind of one of the things that you need to do.
Because again, what you're doing is you're pushing all that stuff down and saying that's unacceptable.
Yeah. I
can't experience that.
No. And you kind of need to ask yourself why as well.
Yes, you do.
Why can't I experience being absolutely ragingly pissed off?
Yes. Yes. Or fear.
Yeah.
To really say the things that you need to say to certain people, or to life, or even to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all of it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So hopefully you've gained some insight now.
Oh,
to go away and do some work.
Definitely. Going into it, I thought I'd got everything I needed, like the first one we did. And I'm like, whoo, this is getting hot. This is getting hot.
See what I mean? That discomfort.
Yeah.
So averse to feeling it. And we can wrap ourselves up in this ego trap of, I'm completely fine.
Yeah.
And this isn't toxic positivity we're talking about. We're not on those levels. But you still think you're okay when there's stuff still running your life.
Yeah, of course.
And you are okay. You seem fine. You seem perfectly functional. Yeah, absolutely. And that's okay as well. You don't have to do this. This is the thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to. There's nothing wrong. But should you choose to, man, on the other side is absolute liberation.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
How are you feeling about this all? Do you feel a bit violated?
I'm not going to lie. A little bit. It felt like I had, someone's random fingers being pushed so far up my nose that I didn't know if my brain was going to come out. If I was to explain it in any particular way, that is how it felt. It was like I was being mummified whilst I was still alive.
Yeah. But that's just fear.
Yeah.
And it's bluffing. It's bluffing.
But at the same time, there was
nothing bad's going to happen.
At the same time, there was part of me which sat here and went, you know what? If you go ahead and do this, it could well be the best thing you've ever done.
That's the truth.
So, yeah. I think I said that the first time around as well. I'm just trying to remember now. I think the first time around was more a case of, this is what could happen. Maybe not what will, but what could. And then, you either feel it less intense or more intense later on.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that we didn't go all the way, there's nothing bad about that.
No.
So you've unlocked more.
Yeah.
Now, that's more insight. And all I did was ask questions. That's all I did.
And that's in the grand scheme of things. That's all we have to do.
Ask questions and just be bold enough.
Yeah.
Just to space to sit here with you and allow you to feel vulnerable. Hold that space for you and just to ask the right questions.
It's crazy.
That's all my job is.
Well, I say it's crazy. It's not crazy. It makes perfect sense. But
you can ask yourself these questions.
Yeah. And yeah, but my mind's blown every time. Because every time you talk about this, I'm just like, it makes so much sense that it gives me a headache.
Is that headache for you that's still holding on?
I think it's.
Oh, I feel threatened.
Yeah, probably. I might well be threatened by something. I need to explore that.
That's okay. Yeah. Sure.
But I think
so the indicator that there's something that's bothering you is the thoughts.
Yeah.
That just don't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's about 67,000 of them a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And if some of them are just going over and over and over again on a particular topic, and and you feel triggered, then that's an indicator that there's something going on that you're holding on to, that you're not allowing yourself to experience fully.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no because I've been doing it for so long, I'm superior. That doesn't mean a thing. Like I still get massively triggered by certain things, and I've figured out certain things recently where actually I was holding on to loads still.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a never-ending journey, but it gets easier and easier the more you do it. I think for me, it was like after the first couple of times of me fully allowing it and embodying it, and just screaming or just crying my eyes out, or just shouting at so yeah, I had a lot of stuff from my dad, for example, just shouting at him like, "Oh, I hate you," all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then it just got easier. It was like, actually, no, this is okay. It's all okay. So you start to rewire the way that you perceive this, and you're like, actually, no, this is okay, and this is all super beneficial. I know that on the other side is liberation. It's just where you are, and you have done obviously some processing. It's like a flipping steam engine where a little bit of pressure that comes up, and you're letting off little bits. But what I did was go right in there and really dig at it.
Yeah, really start prodding. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's all coming up, and it feels like you're going to explode.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, literally. But that's where we want to get to, because that's where the switch flips, and you can have transformation in one session.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what are your takeaways?
There's things to look at. There's things to explore.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm going to make a point of diving deeper. At some point, and going, like you say, it's asking the right questions, isn't it? So yeah, I'm almost lost for words, because I'm like, I suppose I'm comparing it to the first time we had a conversation like this, and it's like, what I'm trying to figure out, but at the same time I don't need to figure out what's changed, because I don't think anything had. It just been something that maybe I'd ignored previously. And it's like, okay, well, this is up here now, so let's talk about this bit. And it could be something else. Should I revisit that again? I won't know until I do. And it's alarming in a way, but at the same time, it's quite exciting, because you kind of know how it's going to end up on the other side. You're going to be. It's going to be a huge weight lifted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if you can't feel it straight away.
But that ego is like, I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's trying to fight.
But it's a bluff.
Yeah.
It's a bluff. It's that fear of death. But you're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen. Absolutely nothing. It's like there's this monster in the closet, and this is a really cool quote from Julian himself, who's a guy that's really into this stuff as well. I follow. That you've lived your whole life thinking there's a monster in that closet, running away, saying, "I'm so scared of a monster that's in this closet." And shadow work is actually starting to walk towards the closet.
Yeah.
Reaching out for the handle. Oh my god. And as you get closer and closer, the fear is getting more and more and more and more and more. And then you open the door and, oh, there never was a monster in the first place.
Yeah.
In fact, it's just me.
Yeah.
But up until opening that door, you feel like you're going to die. You feel like it's going to jump out.
Yeah, something's going to come out and go straight to your throat kind of thing. So.
Yeah. But it's not. There's nothing separate from you.
No.
It's just you. So why are you scared of yourself?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's so honestly so interesting stuff.
And these are the parallels that I'm drawing with manifestation. That if you truly face these dark parts of yourself, this shadow, then you can just go for whatever you want, and it would be phenomenal without this side of yourself that is holding on.
That's mad, isn't it?
This vice-like grip.
You could just undo it just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to get over here to this thing I want.
Yeah.
Whilst the stuff that I'm ignoring back here that's keeping me chained. And all the time I'm trying to get over here whilst this is pulling me back, staying in the same place, ignoring the fact that I'm this present moment right here. So experience the stuff that you've been holding on to, let go of that, and then you can visualize and affirm for whatever you want whilst enjoying being who you are right now. And then Bob's your uncle.
Robert's your mother's brother, yeah.
Yeah. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Cool, man. We actually made it like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, which was honestly, I got to thank you for that, because I remember you saying I think I'll only be on for an hour, which I was happy with that. That's brilliant. But yeah, if you want to drop your link in the chat, I'll also make a copy of it and pop it in the description somewhere. So if people want to check out, Sheila's just turned up.
you just missed an absolute corker, mate.
Yeah, it's been an absolute banger. Thanks for turning up, Sheila. Welcome to the show. But yeah, if you want to drop your link in the chat, people check out your channel and book a session with you. If people that haven't booked a session with Jamie already, please do. I do recommend it. You can learn a hell of a lot. So yeah, Jamie runs I Am Conscious.
Yeah, I couldn't just get I Am, so I Am Conscious.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. But yeah, check that out.
I unpack manifesting in a slightly different way, where it's more focused on shadow work, and just awareness of being the I Am.
Yeah.
I don't really focus on techniques as much. It's a little bit of a different way of looking at it. Yeah, man.
But no, honestly, thank you so much for joining me. It's been absolutely amazing.
Go on. Yeah, sure, man. And if you want to explore this further on a private call, then let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've opened my eyes a bit more and gone, actually, we're going to prod at this, so you're going to, it's been a bit different. But yeah, anybody that, would like to check out Jamie's channel, please do. If you're watching the live, if you're watching the recap, I'll post links here, there, and everywhere I possibly can anyway. But yeah, get it done. Thanks for joining me. It's been, I've actually really enjoyed this as well. It's been so different, I've tested out a few things that I haven't done before, and yeah, it's been really good. Been really good.
Yeah, for anyone that's interested in this, just hit me up. Or I have released a meditation actually, similar to the breath work that we did today, so that you can do that in your own time as well. That's on my channel.
Excellent. Yeah, so hit the channel up, and we'll be hopefully seeing you soon. So I'll be on a podcast with Jamie soon, doing a similar thing to what we did tonight, and then we'll see how that goes. We might even get a little bit further. So stay tuned. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, Jamie. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, no worries. You take it easy.
Peace, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I've lost the video. There we go. All right, and we are back. So what we're going to do is, if you see, the link to Jamie's channel is pinned. I've also copied it, so I'm going to put it on the announcement somewhere as well. We'll do a bit of a Q&A, I guess. I do appreciate I've been going on for about 2 and a bit hours, so I expect most of you to be asleep by now. Thank you for joining me, Sheila. I do appreciate that you got things to do as well. If you didn't catch all of that and you want to watch the recap, I will post it up as well. I'll post links to it and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll sit around for a bit, and we'll see if you guys have got any questions. Oh, where is that thing gone? So YouTube.com. You'll see that. There we go. So we'll pop that there. So again, there's a link to Jamie's channel there. Check out the guided meditation if you haven't done already. Eye-opening stuff. Eye-opening stuff. Bubble, bubble. Okay, so what I think we'll do, I'm going to end the stream there. So as it is leading into the weekend, enjoy yourselves. Be good. And do whatever makes you feel good. Take it easy now.